Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Stephen Jones hints at Cowboys pulling the plug with latest trade comments. The Dallas Cowboys suffered their third straight loss on Sunday to fall to 3-5 for the season. With the trade deadline looming, this raises important questions for the front office. On Monday, Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones appeared on 105.3 The Fan to answer questions. The trade deadline was obviously a big talking point. When asked about it, Jones didn't rule out making a move before the deadline, per The Athletic's John Machota. The surprising part, however, was the follow-up. To a question about whether the Cowboys would be sellers at the deadline, Jones said that they would consider it for the right deal. This is a disappointing development for Cowboys fans. It was only a few months ago when Jerry Jones said that he wanted to go all in to end the franchise's Super Bowl drought. Not only did they break their promise, but they are now revealing that they are willing to take a step back. Trades are always both ways. If something makes sense, then we'd certainly look at it. Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones: Cowboys fans have been waiting for upgrades to the roster all season. The team is the worst rushing team in the league. The wide receiver rotation is less than ideal. The defense lost multiple starters to long-term injuries. Despite all this, the front office chose to stand pat. Now, the fact that they are willing to pull the plug on the season after a couple of consecutive losses is extremely frustrating. We will find out whether this pivot actually happens before 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. Tuesday is a big day across the United States as the NFL trade deadline officially arrives at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Couldn't help myself. In all seriousness, Tuesday marks the last opportunity for teams to make significant moves in the name of improving their odds of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at season's end. Similarly, the day offers the last chance for teams to sell off assets in the name of accepting what fate handed them this season with eyes more focused and fixated on the future. The latter has never been a move the Dallas Cowboys have explored, but the former seems disconnected from their current reality. If and when anything does happen to, for, or through the Cowboys on Tuesday, we will make note of it here. This post will serve as our trade deadline tracker with all relevant news, information, and rumors that you need to know. The Dallas Cowboys traded with the Carolina Panthers for wide receiver Jonathan Mingo. Ultimately, the Cowboys sent Carolina their 2025 fourth-rounder and received Mingo plus the Panthers' 2025 seventh-round pick in return. Jonathan Mingo's jersey number with Cowboys officially announced. After Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones teased a move for a wide receiver ahead of the NFL trade deadline, Cowboys Nation was trying to figure out who the splash could be. Ultimately, it was revealed that the team traded away a fourth-round pick for Carolina Panthers wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, a former second-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Mingo will now look to make an impact with a fresh start and live up to his raw potential, despite many believing the Cowboys may have overpaid to acquire him. Whether the Cowboys won or lost the trade for Mingo remains to be seen. We do know what number he will wear when he steps onto the field for Dallas. Mingo wore number 15 for the Carolina Panthers, but with Ezekiel Elliott occupying the number, Mingo will wear number 81 for his tenure with the Cowboys. During his college career at Ole Miss, Mingo wore number 1. Mingo is a raw talent but has yet to establish himself at the NFL level. Mingo hauled 55 catches for 539 yards during his 1.5 years with the Panthers. However, the Cowboys had interest in Mingo in the 2023 draft because of his success at Ole Mississippi. The 6'2" receiver started all 12 games as a freshman at Ole Miss and finished with 12 catches for 172 yards and 1 touchdown. In his sophomore campaign, Mingo was more involved in the offense and caught 27 passes for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns. Injuries slowed Mingo down during his junior year, with a foot injury forcing him to miss 7 games, but he still recorded 22 receptions for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns. In his final year, Mingo earned second-team All-SEC honors and started in all 13 games, leading the team with 5 touchdowns and setting a school record for most receiving yards in a game with 247 yards against Vanderbilt. It will be interesting to see how Mingo transitions to the Cowboys, but the potential is there. It will just be up to the coaching staff to get the best out of him. Cowboys' loss to Falcons should be the nail in the coffin for Mike McCarthy as team's head coach. The Dallas Cowboys suffered their 3rd straight loss on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, losing 27-21. Like many of their games this season, the final score makes the game seem closer than it truly was. Frankly, the game was much of what fans have come to expect of the Cowboys team this season. They got embarrassed on defense, allowing Kirk Cousins to throw for 222 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. This wide-open touchdown to Darnell Mooney is a perfect example of how the Cowboys just appeared out of sync on Sunday. While the defense hasn't been great, it continues to be somewhat expected with all their inactives right now. Asking the Cowboys' defense to play great while missing Micah Parsons, Darren Bland, and DeMarcus Lawrence has been a tall order. What continues to be the team's main problem is their lackluster offense and being undisciplined. The Cowboys committed 9 penalties against the Falcons, more than doubling Atlanta's 4. On 3 fourth-down attempts during the game, CeeDee Lamb was tackled for a loss on a jet sweep, Brian Anger almost threw an interception on a fake punt attempt, and the team was flagged for 12 players in the huddle. This Cowboys team continues to be undisciplined under Mike McCarthy. More than half of their penalties against the Falcons were pre-snap penalties, something that is completely preventable. Evidence supports that McCarthy has lost the locker room as well. From Trayvon Diggs lashing out at reporters after a loss, to Ezekiel Elliott being a healthy scratch due to disciplinary reasons, it is safe to say there is no true leadership right now. Even the team's leader in Dak Prescott was seen on the sideline mouthing "We, expletive, suck." It is incredibly unlikely that the Cowboys move on from McCarthy during the season. It hasn't been the way Jerry Jones and company operates when it comes to replacing head coaches. If anything, it becomes increasingly likely that Jones just allows McCarthy's contract to expire this offseason. While McCarthy had an impressive stretch of 3 straight 12-5 seasons with the team, it feels safe to assume that the Super Bowl window under him has officially closed and it is time for new leadership in Dallas. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike McCarthy? Leave your opinion in the comments.